What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today.
Russell Westbrook. For those of you that are new here or new to my Russ content, I have been screaming loud and hard for Russell Westbrook since his almost 2-year stay with the Los Angeles Lakers. I was not happy how the media and Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed treated this man seemingly every single day, to the point where they had casuals and LeBron stans keying along with them every morning, watching lowlight reels and blaming Russ for every tragedy and misstep of the Lakers franchise during that time. They used this man as a scapegoat, signaled him out, people calling him trash, saying he had a low basketball IQ, saying he belongs in the D-League, saying he belongs on the bench, a scrub, washed, and all of that. And I know Skip Bayless was the ringleader of that on mainstream media, but Shannon Sharpe rarely, if ever, gave him any pushback, and many times was laughing right there with him because, of course, LeBron wasn't getting any of the blame, so it made sense for Shannon Sharpe. It's funny how it's all jokes when Skip Bayless is going in on Russ, but when Skip Bayless sends that venom towards you, Shannon Sharpe, directly, now your feelings are hurt.
Skip, I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
He's way better than you were.
I'm better than you.
Better.
Skip, what? I got to see what you do. You take personal shots.
No, I don't take personal shots. You started it.
Time out. You would take a personal shot at me.
I didn't take a personal shot at you.
Wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
You would take a personal...
Put your glasses back on.
They only mentioned Russ when he had a negative plus minus, not when other players had negative plus minus or worse plus minuses than Russell Westbrook. They only brought up Russell Westbrook's turnovers, despite other players having many, and even one particular player averaging almost as many turnovers as Russ, and Russ wasn't even the league leader in total turnovers during his tenure with the Lakers. So I will continue to scream just as loud and proud for Russ as they did every single day while he was in a Lakers uniform, and did not keep that same energy in a Clippers uniform when he was everything but how he was portrayed with the Lakers. You see, from the beginning, before he suited up in a Lakers uniform for the first time, I said this was not going to work. Russ is going to look bad. He's going to get ragdolled when the Lakers are losing. Sure enough, all that happened. I said that Russ cannot coexist with a ball-dominant LeBron James, and if they are going to be on the floor at the same time, then LeBron should come off ball more, since LeBron is a better shooter and scorer. Run some pick and pops, pick and roll options with Anthony Davis, have some sharp shooters on the floor to help maximize Westbrook's potential. They did none of that. In fact, they tried to turn Russell Westbrook into a spot-up shooter, which is one of the worst things you could have done. When it comes to scoring and shooting, Russell Westbrook is a streaky scorer at best. I'm not getting paid millions of dollars, but damn it, it ain't that hard. Know your personnel, people. I was in countless of debates and arguments saying that Russ is not trash. He's just not in an environment conducive to his style of play and not being utilized to his strengths appropriately. But no, they didn't want to hear that. And for that reason, I wanted nothing more than for him to leave the Lakers, my favorite team, by any means necessary to return to form and shut the noise up. Russ and LeBron are damn near the same player, except LeBron James is bigger, stronger, and better at almost everything. It doesn't help when you have a redundant skill set to varying degrees that demand the ball to be productive. Is it just a coincidence that Westbrook looked more like Westbrook, the Westbrook that we were accustomed to seeing in games where LeBron James did not play? Russ averaged roughly 22 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists, when LeBron James did not play in the 2021-22 season. But it's not just the numbers, people. The eye test could tell you everything. How much more comfortable he was, how he fit in better. After much drama and commotion, Russ eventually went to the bench to lead the second unit, where had he stayed with the Lakers, he was on pace to win Sixth Man of the Year. But people were acting like that was some kind of surprise or huge accolade had Westbrook had won that award. Well, you take a player of Russ's caliber and put him in a position to come off the bench, of course he's going to be damn good, a damn good sixth man, because he's an all-star caliber player normally. If I was Russ, I would have been offended, because I'm looking at it like, what did you expect? I mean, did you see how he led that booty Wizards team the second half of that season and stormed into the playoffs, single-handedly putting that team on his back game after game? Eventually, Russ gets traded to the Clippers before the deadline, and I knew he was going to thrive with that team, and I knew Russ was going to be happy, and I know they understood his value and how to utilize him regardless to how big or small the role was on a game-to-game basis. It was day and night. I had Laker fans getting annoyed, saying, I don't understand how and why Russ is playing so well with the Clippers, and he didn't do that for us. Please, ye of little brains. He was playing along with stars like PG-13 and Kawhi Leonard now, who could be themselves and thrive off the ball, had a great pick and roll big like Zubac, and a handful of catch and shoot quality players. Also a competent and great head coach in Tyronn Lue. And Lue put the ball in his hands when he was on the court. Russ also provided energy and effort, not just energy and effort, but contagious energy and effort when he was on the floor, as well as leadership. Also, with the improved morale on the Clippers, you began to see a defensive seed planted in Russell Westbrook, flowered and blossomed. Game after game, Russ was making timely defensive plays, huge saves, huge rebounds, huge assists, and much more. Shortly after the trade, the postseason was around the corner, and Russ was a huge reason why the Clippers did not slip into the play-in tournament, and Tyronn Lue echoed my remarks as well. Ty Lue said Russell Westbrook saved their season.
Tell me your opinion of Russ, how you feel about Russ.
I love Russ.
I know you
do. From day one, you know, and when you get a guy like that plays hard every single night and gives you everything every single night, and he plays every night.
Single night.
And he plays the same way so like teams that acquire him or teams that, like, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? He's a tough dude, tough-minded, you know, and I mean, what he did for our season, him and Plumlee and Bones and Eric Gordon, but what Russ and those guys did coming in for the last 20 games of the season, he saved us.
Yeah.
You know, PG goes down and he went to another level, you know, and so I love him. You know what I'm saying? We got a great relationship. I can be real with him. He can be real with me. Yeah. And all he wants is the truth. Like, we tell him the truth and say, Russ, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to use you. It could be this or that. He's good with it. Yeah, he respects it, you know, and so sometimes you got to save him from himself because he gets fired up. You know what I'm saying? But so what? Do you? You know, if you're doing too much, I'll let you know. But be who you are. And it's my job as a coach to try to make you fit into this puzzle, you know, as far as our team. But be who you are, and then give me 5-10 games, and I can put you in place to be successful. And he was great, man.
Eventually, PG-13 goes out for the season, and Kawhi and Russ go into the postseason versus Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, postseason play. And it was looking like the Clippers maybe, you know, were going to beat the Suns until Kawhi Leonard got hurt and missed the rest of the playoffs. And Westbrook was balling. And even when Russ was the last star standing in that series, with a bunch of role players, he gave the Suns all they could handle and didn't want to handle before the Clippers got eliminated. A valiant effort indeed. This season, 23-24 season, the Clippers acquire James Harden. They insert Harden into the starting lineup, and it's looking rocky at first. It was Russell Westbrook taking the initiative, going to the coach, saying, hey, I'll go to the bench, I'll run with the second unit, and allow Harden to, build continuity and chemistry with the starters. He was happy to give anything and everything he could and whatever the Clippers needed from him. And Ty Lue put him in positions to be successful even off the bench. They had a very open relationship. They have a very open relationship. Honest about everything. Russell Westbrook in the second half of the season got injured with a hand fracture, and the Clippers began to slip. They looked mediocre to bad most nights. Without Russ, they went 6-6 during that stretch. Then there were rumblings of the Clippers having issues. They're frauds. They have identity issues. They lack leadership. You got James Harden out here trying to block Kawhi Leonard's shot. All this kind of nonsense. The headlines now saying, what's wrong with the Clippers? And I'm like, hardly anyone is bringing up the fact that Russell Westbrook is now gone. Y'all just going to ignore his obvious value, especially now that he's absent. In the 9 games since his return to the Clippers, they are now 7-2, with some great wins against great teams. Not to mention, Leonard and or Harden have been absent for some of those games. Russ bringing non-stop heart, energy, leaving it all out on the court every single night, playing every game like it's his last. Now, this recent game against the Suns, as the Clippers try to hold on to the 4th seed, and the Suns fighting to stay out of the play-in, no Harden, no Leonard. Ty Lue needs Russ to be OKC, Houston, Wizards Russ, playing 40-plus minutes. Create for us, Russ. Lead us all the way. We need all of you. As always. Well, 16 points, 15 rebounds, 15 assists later. Leadership, heart, hustle, intangibles, everything contagious, and most of all, a victory. Amazing effort by Russell Westbrook, but not that I'm surprised because he's capable of this still, despite the narratives.
His first start since November and lead the team on both ends of the floor as a facilitator, as a defender. How'd you get yourself ready to perform like this and get that triple double in the game?
Man, just God's willing. I said it in the game, but I'm grateful for him. His grace, his ability to get me ready and back, and I do my job, prepare myself, prepare my body, my mind. Every single day I chime in and make sure I do the right things to be ready when my number's called. No surprise on my end because I know I prepare very well. I take a lot of time to prepare for games, no matter how many minutes and how much time I'm on the floor. So I'm grateful for my teammates and for believing in me and allowing me to kind of go out and hoop tonight too. So.
Russ took the pay cut the Clippers offered him because he wanted to win and he loved the environment and the franchise. He doesn't have to walk on eggshells now. He can be himself. And everyone understands his value. Russ is still Russ. Is he in his prime? No, of course not. But still good for everything that does not show up in the box scores. And with minutes still something closer to his prime than out of it. All the naysayers that drug this guy through the mud without context and understanding of the players, systems, player compatibility have been silent since the trade. Where's that energy? I thought he sucked. I thought he was a cancer. I thought he had no value. You can sit here and yap about 0 rings the same way you don't yap about 0 rings with other players the media and you like to protect. Since Russ came to the Clippers, their record is 55-32. That's nothing to scoff at. Russell Westbrook. I salute a fierce competitor. The video highlights provided were not a montage produced by myself, so in the description of this video, you can find the links to the source of the Russell Westbrook highlights. Thank you.